Hey, welcome guys. My name is Dwayne Butler. I'm with Castles and Attics right out of Carmel, Indiana, and I wanted to do another episode on buying an education. I think this is important, especially for us who are antique dealers out there and those who are interested in getting into the business. So I'm going to show you something that's important to me in this episode, and that's my book collection, and let's see if you get something out of it too. Let's take a look. This is partially my book collection. These are all antique value guides, reference guides. Okay? I have approximately 3 more boxes in storage. Most of those are African art and some modern pieces, some artwork, and not necessarily something really important. But what I do here is I thought I'd show you a little bit about what I have on my shelves, what I've collected, and what it really does for me. Here's one. Had to go through this the other week, the quilt book. Maybe about 3-4 months ago. Bought a really dynamite quilt and learned a little bit. Here's I came from Ohio to Indiana, so I learned about McCoy pottery. One of my first books here. Probably got this 10 years ago or so. A family member got me this for Christmas one year. You know, that was 25 or 30 bucks, but I bet I can tell you just about everything there is to know in that book. Every picture. Here's a art pottery book now, Roseville, McCoy, Weller, Bennington. This has been kind of interesting. Bennington I learned the other week. If I pull this out, I'll show it to you real quick. Bennington, what I learned is this little pasteware, porcelain. I didn't realize they did so many of these porcelain pieces. And I've had this Bennington book around, but you always get the salt glaze, this brown drip here, and you pretty much know it as Bennington or Rockingham, and you just kind of do that. But, you know, a book with some general information. Silver books, silver marks, sterling silver. You can get a lot of this on the internet, which we'll do in another episode. Here's some. I'm a big record buyer. Coca-Cola. Don't use these all the time, but they come in handy. Winchester book. I brought a rare thermometer the other week, and it was nice to go through. Let's start on this side. One of my favorites. Italian glass books. These are Treadway catalogs. There's a Writer catalog here. I've picked these up over time, had to pay for them, and bought me a huge education. I've stared at those a lot. You can get a lot of Mission Modern looks, you can get a lot of mid-century pieces, and you can just learn the names of Knoll and Eames. You can see all the Pantone pieces. You can learn things about Stickley. Here's a hickory piece. Here's a Danish chair. This is a very hot commodity now. There's so many. Look at this book, completely full of Danish chairs. Now, if you want to do mid-century design, look how many chairs you can actually learn and how many of them might or might not have value. There you go. There's what an education is. You're buying an education. I think I paid $20 for this book at Half Price Books, and I normally put the date inside of them. I'll show you how I do that here. Let me see if I have something else I put my date in here. Here's a Gustav Stickley book. This has been very helpful. Here it is. I bought that in 11 of 05. I put dates in my books. This hickory book has been nice to have. Here's a Roycroft basket book. One of my latest little joys of arts and crafts and of anything that's folky, anything that somebody has to take their hands and paint or work with. I love baskets. Hours and hours. Tiffany books. American history furniture books. Ool Pottery, a local favorite around here. Coin books. Covell's Marks. Everybody needs this book. Golly, does everybody need this book? Okay. Staffordshire dogs. I went through this the other week. I had bought a pair. I think I showed you that on an episode. I didn't find them in here, but it was really kind of neat because I got a nice education looking over all of these dogs again and the spaniels, and didn't realize that there are so many different names. Like each one of those dogs always looked the same to me until I realized, well, there's a Japanese Chin. Oh, the next grouping, Irish Setter, a Terrier, a Carrier. There's all these other different greyhounds. So once you pull one out, it's kind of cool. Back up to this shelf here. Perfume bottles. Never used that book yet, but still like it. Dinnerware, Bohemian Glass, Ruby Glass, Blinko. I mean, I just pull these out and look at them from time to time. Fenton Rarities. This book I pulled a piece out, got golly, how long ago was that? A Heart and Vine piece. It was a very nice little find. Jadeite. I mean, I even have depression glass books. You don't know when you walk into a house. This is my new stuff. I told you I've been learning about Orientalia. There's some books on them. Buying books on Orientalia. It's very important. Folk art. This is all the new stuff that I haven't found room for. Arts of China. Granite ware. These were $5 and $10 at an auction. Here's a Red Wing book. I think I paid $10 for. Some Czech pieces. Here's a Meissen book that I paid $10 or $15 for at an auction. Here's a Nippon book. I think I paid $5 for that. Another Uhl catalog. See what I'm saying? I mean, this is all stuff that I probably bought in the last 2-3 months. A modernism book. Haven't even flipped through that one. The one right below it's pretty cool too. I think that was a furniture book. Oh, a Herman Miller book. And these are the ones I carry in my van. This is a Hoosier Salon because I like Indiana art, and sometimes you walk around and you think, gee, is that a listed artist? Is that somebody important? I can't find anything on them on the internet. But for me locally, I learned a lot of information. This was a $35 book. It's probably made me $1,000. Here's a record book. I still use this, even though I subscribe to certain websites, which again we'll talk about and go over. And my latest one, which I just want to keep in the van, an arts and crafts furniture book. And I go through this. I saw a Cellaret in here the other day. I never even knew what a Cellaret was until I saw it in here, and then I saw one at an auction. And you just look at things and you remember what they are. I can tell you what a Gustav arts and crafts pole looks like now. I've just memorized certain things. I know Roycroft feet now by looking at these books. I basically just grab it, stare at it, and learn a little bit about it. And so for me, buying an education, what do all these books mean to me? Well, there's thousands of dollars wrapped up in there. Some of these books I think are probably $50, $100 a piece. Some of them, I know some of my modernism books, I can find them online for even $200 and $300. I have some early pottery books down there. I didn't even show you the bottom shelf. My Orientalia books that I just want you to see real quick. Again, told you I'm learning Chinese and Japanese. Look at that. There's, what is that? 10, 12 books. Here's some modern books. Here's a furniture review line. I mean, all that's important. If you're going to go to this business, you're going to have to put some money out, and you can't sell your books. If I were to pass, God willing, you know, or forbidding, my wife would have them. And, hey, she'd be able to sell them. She doesn't know what, otherwise to her they're nothing, but she'd be able to sell them and they get her some cash back. And they bought me an education. Go buy some books. You'll enjoy them. You'll need them. They're not going to totally be outdated for you forever. All the information is important that's still in them, okay? Till we meet again, keep a song in your heart. Thanks.